all know that now I'm starting a biology channel, and then I'm trying to help as much people in biology in their exams or anything, some great tips that I should share with you guys to make sure that you get the best out of it. So welcome to the Zhan IGCSE biology channel, where I will cover most of the IGCSE biology stuff, including lots of topics ranging from plants to animals to reproduction to body systems. So I'm kind of excited to start off, and today we will jump a bit to chapter 7, where it's about animal nutrition and human nutrition. So animal and human nutrition. So as you all know, from the word, human nutrition is basically about what we humans or animals consume, and these are the ones that can able to do the 7 things, the Mrs. Grant, where movement, respiration, etc. is being taking place here. So we are going to go through contents relating to 7.1 will be diet. 7.2 we will introduce you the alimentary canal. Thirdly, 7.3 we'll go through the mechanical digestion. 7.4 we will go over the chemical digestion. And fifth, we will go through absorption. Alright, so we will of course start off with 7.1 on how diet works in this stage. So we all know what is a diet. It's basically what we eat every single day. What we eat every single day. But most importantly, when you are talking about diet, is that what we eat, is it a balanced diet? So a balanced diet is basically consisting all of the food groups in the correct proportion. Alright, so of course our food groups we have in while eating a balanced diet would definitely be carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, vitamins, minerals, fiber or dietary fiber, and lastly water. So these are the main food groups which are important to the human body, and also which what makes us do in everyday lives. So we'll go through on how firstly carbohydrate works. So the function of carbohydrates. So what they do every day is it's a source of energy. Okay, it's a source of energy, and then foods like bread, cereals are all carbohydrates. Secondly, we have protein. So protein is for growth and repair, and meat, fish, crustaceans, and more are protein. Next, we have lipids or fats, and then they are insulation and energy storage for our human body. And then butter, oil are basically what we call it as fats. Next, we have fiber. So fiber is basically, it provides a bulk for the intestine to push food through. That's where you get bowel movements, and then basically whatever contains grains, vegetables, all contain dietary fiber or fiber itself. Next, we have vitamins. So we have all types of vitamins including A, D, E, B1, and C, and many more, and they are basically needed in small quantities to maintain health. Anything from fruits to vegetables all contains all your necessary vitamins for your body to maintain your health. And then we got minerals. So minerals are again needed in small quantities to maintain health. It's the same thing as vitamins, and again, now it contains fruit and vegetable, same thing, meats and dairy products, okay, from milk, etc., etc. And then lastly, water. Water. So water, they are basically needed for chemical reactions to take place in cells. All need water. So drinking water, juices, milk, and many more are called water. But most importantly needed for your body is normal water. Okay. Next, we are going to go through about the specific vitamins that we have. So right here, we're gonna change our groups to vitamins. Vitamins. It contains vitamin C, vitamin D, iron. Okay, vitamin D and calcium are pretty much the same thing, so we will combine them both together. Okay, in vitamin C, so the function of eating vitamin C is an essential part. Let me enlarge this. It's an essential part in collagen protein, which makes up our skin, our hair, gums, and etc. And then anything from fruit, again, are the examples on where we can get vitamin C. Vitamin D slash calcium. So it helps the body to absorb calcium and so required for strong bones and teeth. And then again, drinking milk, cheese, and eggs contains vitamin D, calcium, and then it seems that it contains a bit of protein inside. And then we got iron. Okay, iron is needed to make hemoglobin. So it's basically a pigment in red blood cells to transport oxygen. And then from one, it contains red meat, liver, leaf vegetables, also very green one, usually greens one. Okay, we're going to talk about the deficiency of these vitamins and minerals. So the deficiency of the specific vitamins that we have. So we have vitamin C. So it's based okay, vitamin C. You will get scurvy. Okay, for vitamin D, it can cause rickets. For lack of iron, it will be anemia. Okay, these are basically the deficiencies of what happens if you don't have that specific nutrients, and what's going to happen to your body will be all of these. Okay, next we have malnutrition. Okay, malnutrition. So malnutrition is basically it's caused by not eating a balanced diet, and then which includes a few examples: starvation, CHD, constipation, obesity. Okay, these are basically what happens during when you have a malnutrition and not eating a balanced diet itself. Okay, next one, we're going to talk about dietary needs of different individuals. So it all affects with age, activity levels, pregnancy, or your breastfeeding. Each type of factors will be occurred whether you have a specific activity happening, and then what are you going to consume when you're going through these levels. Okay, in the extended part of the IGCSE biology syllabus, we learn about the kwashiorkor and the marasmus. So kwashiorkor is basically what is caused by the lack of protein in the diet, and it's also most commonly found in children. Okay, for marasmus in this case is again it's a lack of protein plus energy. Usually their lower body weight is normal and looks emaciated. For kwashiorkor, I left out one point is that at abdominal or stomach in this case is swollen, maybe due to carbohydrates. Okay, now we are entering the alimentary canal. Okay, we're entering the alimentary canal right here. So it's the alimentary 7.2 alimentary canal. So we all know what's the alimentary canal. It's basically a passage from your mouth to the anus. Okay, and we of course have types of different ways how the stages of food breakdown occurs. Stages of food breakdown. So number one, we have ingestion. Ingestion is basically the taking of substances. Okay, example, food and drinks. Secondly, we have mechanical digestion. Mechanical digestion is basically the breakdown of food into smaller pieces without chemical change. Thirdly, we have chemical digestion. Chemical digestion is basically the breakdown of large insoluble molecules and ions through the wall into small soluble molecules. Okay. Number 4, we have absorption. Okay, this time is the movement of small food molecules through the wall of the intestine and into the blood. Okay, let me lift this up. sorry right there. Okay, number 5, we have assimilation. So it's basically the movement of digested food molecules into the cells of the body, where they are used, becoming part of the cell. Okay. Number 6, we have the final one, egestion. Egestion is basically the passing out of food that has not been digested or absorbed as feces through the anus. Okay, so these are the stages of food breakdown where it occurs. Okay, and also for this case, you are also needed to remember the structure and the function of the alimentary canal. Okay, usually from the start, we have, let me get one picture from Google, alimentary canal structure with with label. Can I talk it on the spot so it's easier to understand? So, okay, looking right here at this image. Okay, this is a bit too extensive already. Let me try to find an easier one. Yeah, this one. This is better. Let me open this image into a new tab so it's easier to see. So basically we have the mouth and the tongue. Below the mouth we have a salivary glands. Salivary glands are the ones that produce amylase, or what you call it as saliva. Okay, inside here will be your esophagus. Okay, the long tube that leads to the stomach. We have the stomach right here and the liver. Below the liver is the gallbladder. The stomach is here. The small intestine, where you are needed to remember the 3 types of intestine being found, which is the duodenum, the jejunum, and the ileum, the 3 parts of it. Below the stomach is a pancreas, and it's basically above the large intestine. Okay, this one is the small intestine, the rectum is below it, and final one is your anus. Appendix is here. You are also optional to either remember, but it's good to remember it because in some question they did appear about appendix and rectum in the case also. Okay, this should be enough. And now we are going to talk about the function of each of these. Okay, do know that when you are knowing the structures, you also need to know about what it does and how does it link to which digestion is being used. So firstly, we have mouth and the salivary glands. Okay, let me expand this. Okay, so it is where mechanical digestion takes place. So you chew your food with all of the teeth you have. So to increase the surface area. Your salivary glands will produce amylase enzymes. So in the saliva, to start digesting your starch into maltose, another form of glucose. But remember, it's maltose all the time. And your food will be shaped into a bolus. Okay, number 2, your esophagus. Your esophagus is where the tube connects to the stomach. Usually it moves in a peristalsis movement. Okay, thirdly, we have the stomach. Okay, the stomach is mechanically digested by churning. So protease enzyme start to chemically digest proteins. The stomach acid, or called HCl, hydrochloric acid, is to kill bacteria in food, so the optimum pH can do its job. Okay, next we have the small intestine. First section will be the duodenum. So it's where after the food has been digested, okay, in the same time, enzymes produced from the pancreas is also there. Okay, around the intestine, it's around pH 8 to 9 alkali level. Okay, and then second section will be the ileum. The start of absorption begins there. Okay, after that, it links to something called an something like absorb things called a villi. Okay, all right, next one, large intestine. Water is absorbed from the remaining in the colon. Okay, colon is basically intestine, just keep in note with this. And then we got pancreas. It's where all your 3 digestive enzyme comes, which is, let me move this up a bit. Okay, give me a sec. So it will be lipase, and then we have the protease and the amylase. So amylase come in 2 places, so the salivary glands and the pancreas itself. Okay, and then we have the liver. The liver is to produce bile into emulsify fat from large droplets to smaller ones. Okay, next one, your gallbladder. It stores the bile and releases into duodenum if it's required. Okay, have a look with this, and then you can pause the video if you want. These are the things that you must remember, what is it produced, and then what kind of pH its stomach usually being produced. It's usually at a very low pH, pH 2 to 3. Okay, we're going to talk about mechanical digestion deeper. Okay, it's here. Alright, here. Okay, mechanical digestion. We all know that mechanical digestion is the breakdown of food into smaller pieces without chemical change. So, same thing. So it's usually carried out with a chewing action of the teeth. And then it churns. Okay? Next. Okay, remember this is just about mechanical digestion. And then we got types of teeth. We all at this stage must remember what are the types of teeth present in our mouth, which is the incisors, the canine, the premolar, and the molar. We all know that incisors are a chisel shape for biting and cutting. Canines are pointed for thinning, holding, and biting. Premolars and molars are usually large and flat surface with ridges at the edges for chewing and grinding up food. Okay, these are required to be remembered in the same time, and then yeah, that's all. Okay, next one, we have dental decay. So dental decay is basically a gum disease, anything gum to teeth decay caused by bacteria. And then the yellow thing or the white color thing is coated on the teeth is called the plaque. Okay, and sometimes it attached to the gums. Tartar is basically, it's kind of like something like a plaque also, where it can allow bacteria to go inside the roots, causing a gum disease, or even worse, the tooth being lost. Okay, gradually the bacteria in the plaque will feed on what is there, usually sugary items. Okay, and then respiration is being used during that time, where it turns into acid. Okay, the acid itself will dissolve the animal coating and goes into the dentine. Okay, so tooth decay can cause a painful infection plus loss of tooth. Okay, easy. How to prevent all this is to reduce the amount of sugar being eaten, brushing teeth regularly, and then using a fluoride toothpaste plus a regular visit to the dentist. Okay, okay, we have our chemical digestion, which is most probably the last two things we are supposed to discuss right here. So we got chemical digestion. So it's again is to break down large insoluble molecules into small soluble molecules. So food of it is partially mechanical digested. Okay, and then digestion mainly takes place chemically. Okay, using enzymes, and the main one are carbohydrates, proteins, plus lipases. Okay, gonna talk about carbohydrate into deeper. Carbohydrates usually start from amylase. Okay, amylases are produced in the mouth plus pancreas. Okay, then it's secreted into the duodenum. Okay, so it digested starch into smaller sugars. Okay, and okay, remember that how amylase is breaking down starch to maltose, a form of glucose in the same time. Okay, next one, we got protease. We all know that protease is breaking down protein into amino acids. Okay, and then inside our digestive system, we need to know about pepsin, and usually it's produced in the stomach. And we got trypsin, which is produced in the pancreas, then secreted into duodenum. Okay, lastly, we got lipases. So lipases are produced in pancreas again, secreted later in the duodenum. So it digested fats into fatty acid plus glycerol. Important, we still have to remember this, okay? Okay, now we need to know the role of hydrochloric acid and how is it so important while digestion begins. So it's called a gastric juice, okay? And then its role is to kill bacteria and gives an acid pH for enzymes to work. Okay, kill bacteria and acid pH for enzymes. Okay, usually it's at pH 2. Remember, it's at pH 2. Okay, next one is the bile. Okay, so the bile is alkaline to neutralize the hydrochloric acid. Okay, and then that's where it becomes a bit more neutral, and then when you go into small intestine it has a higher alkaline, and then for those comparing to the stomach you come out. So it breaks down large drops of fat into smaller ones, or what we call as emulsification. Okay, so remember that it's chemically break down into lipid, into glycerol and fatty acid faster. Okay, so it doesn't require into breaking bonds, require for breaking bonds. Okay, lastly we have absorption. This is important also before we end the topic. It's where again movement of small food molecules through the wall of the intestine and into the blood, so it's being absorbed lah. Okay, so again remember that water is being absorbed in both small intestine and the colon. Okay, but most is small intestine. Okay, absorption takes place in the ileum. Okay, remember this also, because inside the ileum it looks like the mucus. It's like the ciliated cells in our throat where mucus are being moved, and then why it contains millions of villi. That's where all your absorption takes place, all your nutrients are being going inside. So these adaptations increase surface area of the ileum to absorb faster, okay, and more efficient. Okay, so we all know that the hepatic portal vein is the one that absorb all of these nutrients. Okay, So that's all for today for human nutrition. It's a very long topic. Some of the things required in this video you can always skip back and then look back at the previous if you want to take down your notes. Everything is really important in here, and then you must remember and make sure you understand the way how it's work and to get you ace on your questions being done in your IGCSE exams. So thank you so much for watching, and then see you guys in the next chapter. Bye bye.